I want to share key points from this printout that I did, and this is taken from a website called Freedom House. So the month of Tammuz, of course, is the 4th month of the Hebraic month. Now, this is what it says. The month of Tammuz is the month of refined vision, the month of worship, and the time to look at our progress and allow the Lord to direct our path. The Lord is continuing to release a grace to us that will enable us to complete things that need to be completed. Yes. Okay, so this is the month of refined vision. The scripture for that is Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 1, where it was actually in this month, the 4th month. It says, now it came to pass in the 30th year, that was Ezekiel's age. And y'all know that we've been focusing on the book of Ezekiel for this study, the 3-part series that I've been working on. Now it came to pass on the 30th year, in the 4th month, on the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river Chabar, that the heavens were opened and I saw visions of God. So it says, Ezekiel, whose name means God strengthened, seemingly saw what Moses, whose name means to be drawn out, asked to see but was denied. God's glory revealed in the whirlwind of fire. I believe God revealed himself this way at this time during the captivity to ensure his people that the destruction of the temple was not the end of his glory, but was the beginning of something much more glorious. This vision came as a sign to them. He was coming to strengthen them in the midst of their captivity and reveal his plan to prosper them and multiply them. As time went on, their focus strayed away from the one who, and we're talking about them who was in Israel, but also we need to be able to look at what they did, the mistakes that they made, which is what this 3-part series is about. We need to be able to look at the mistakes they made so that we don't make those mistakes. So it says, as time went on, their focus strayed away from the one who inhabited the temple, and they began to view the temple itself as the source of glory rather than God who chose to dwell in it. That part, especially when we need to understand that we are the church. We are the church. We call ourselves going to church once a week, but can you go to yourself? Like I've been asking people that, can you go to yourself? We are the church. And so it says here, in regards to that part I skipped, let me go ahead and read that. It says, up to this point in history, the people were very familiar with the glory of God because they experienced it multiple times as they journeyed through the wilderness into the promised land. His glory was seen among the tabernacle. That is the building, that's the structure. His glory was seen among the tabernacle in the wilderness and in the temple that Solomon had built. The temple and the Ark of the Covenant had become symbols of the one who was to be glorified. It was just a symbol. It says, Emmanuel, meaning God with us. But as time went on, the focus strayed away from the one who inhabits the temple, and they began to view the temple itself as the source of glory. And that's the problem. That's the problem that we have going on today. That's the issue with the building of church. And that is why the buildings that we call church, the tabernacles, and that is why God has been saying to us, or trying to get our attention, just like he was trying to get Jerusalem's attention. And he kept saying to them, remember Shiloh. He was saying to them, remember Shiloh, because of the fact that in Shiloh, when they went up, the people were not, they thought they were going through the motions of worship. They thought they were worshiping God, but he had left. And he had left because their attitudes had changed. They were just going through the motion. No feeling, no meaning. Their hearts wasn't in it. They were just, they were going through the pretense, as the scripture says, a pretense of worship. So they ended up going up to fight against the Philistines. And they went out to fight. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry, I'm multitasking. Okay, so rice. So I had to cover it over and turn it off so it could finish cooking. So anyway, they went up to fight against the Philistines. And when they went up against the Philistines, they lost. And so their minds, they said, oh, we forgot to bring the Ark of the Covenant out. So they went back, got Hophni and Phinehas, the two sons of Eli, the ones who were instrumental in causing God to just leave, because they were sinning and they were leading the people into sin. So they went to go get them too, the people not knowing, because the people was trying to do, and they think they're worshiping. So they went to get them, and they ceremoniously carried this Ark of the Covenant, out into the battlefield. And the Philistines saw it, got scared, whooped them, took the Ark of the Covenant. And that's when the people realized God is left. He left us, because there was no reason for the Philistines to even have been able to touch the Ark of the Covenant. And so here it says, as time went on, their focus strayed away from the one who inhabited the temple. See, at that time, they did not have the temple. They just had the ark, and they had the place, the location. But in Jerusalem, Solomon actually built a temple. And so people would leave and they would go to the temple. And so their focus strayed away from God himself, who inhabited the temple, the one who inhabited the temple, and they began to view the structure, the temple itself, the building, the brick and mortar building. This is key. This is it. This is what I've been fussing all along. I know some people have been hearing my videos and she's talking about the church. No, you don't understand. I love the Lord. I love the Lord, but I'm obediently doing what he tells me to do, which is to speak. And so understanding, I get how we feel about the building, but here it says it so perfectly. Like, I couldn't have said it any better. The focus strayed away from who inhabits the building, God himself, to actually viewing the temple as the source of glory. It says, rather than God who chose to dwell in it. Because of this, God proclaimed to them that he was going to send armies of the north, Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon army, to destroy the very thing that they had come to trust in more than him. And so that's where the problem is. You and I are the church. We are the church, not the brick and mortar building. But when you put more emphasis, and that's what has happened over the years, people have put so much emphasis on the building. So they're going to serve the building, and it's all about their work in the building. But what about God? And what about the fact that he wants to be Emmanuel, God with us? We are the church. He wants to dwell in us. So it's a lifestyle. What about that? What about the fact that we're not supposed to go to church and play church, have the pretense of church, and then come home and be worldly as all get out? So he said he was going to destroy it, and that's what he did, not once but twice. And that's when everything shifted. But let me keep